All right, hello and welcome to season 9, episode 5, Winter Oval. And you know, originally I was gonna do the outer border with the light blue color, but that might be kind of hard. I'm looking at it now. Because I'm gonna have to paint the inside and then erase to make the oval effect. So unless, well, there kind of is like a white line in the middle, so maybe I can get away with still doing it. I don't know. Let's try it anyways. Frick it. Let's see what happens. Go have fun. Thanks. Let's give it a try. And I guess also doing it like this will also give me like a frame point of reference. Because whenever Bob has done these framed canvases like this, I don't like ever actually draw the frame prior. I just kind of wing it. I just kind of like eyeball it. But maybe this is tech actually to do it like this, potentially. Anybody else get a ton of snow recently? I know G did, right? Smile. Actually, no, I think this is gonna be vibes, actually. Doing it like this. Also, by a show of hands, who else didn't really sleep a whole ton last night? Curious. I fell asleep probably around 2:30 or so, and I think I woke up at like, it was like 8 or something. I was up pretty early, and I kind of laid in bed for like a little while longer. But I don't think I ever actually fell back asleep entirely. And I should have got up probably earlier, but I just kind of kept laying down for a while. I was like, damn, I'm so sleepy. Also, you know, maybe I should have like done some of this. It's fine. We'll make it work. It'll be fine in the end. Because since, you know, like the way Bob like did this canvas effect is like he would have painted like this blue underneath of it, and then he would have put on the stencil. And yada yada yada. My oval is definitely a bit wider, just because Mario paint canvas moment. You fell asleep at 5 and woke up at 10? Dang. Crack out here with the thieving grind last night. Butter, I'm done thieving. I am a sailor now. I'm Carlos. Prac probably, question mark. Actually, it was smithing. Actually. Also, shout out to that drink in our DMs, Justin, being the last thing before what you sent me earlier. Oh, marketing. Yeah, this is gonna be a bit of an interesting one with how I decide to go about this, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work. So the sky will come about like a third down ish, give or take. Wait, so Justin, what's on your pizza though? I told you what's on my pizza, but I never heard what's on yours. I showed you my pizza, please respond. I actually didn't show you my pizza. That's a total lie. I guess I should, yeah, I'll put some over here actually as well. Yeah, these framed paintings, they're like, you know, nothing too crazy of an effect. Like they're like, you know, kind of simple for what it is, but they're effective at what they do. I don't know. It's just kind of vibes, honestly. You have to shower and coffee up and see how bad it is outside. Are you workage again today? Or just going out in the world to have a fun time with getting something from the store? What do they call that thing? Grocery shopping or something? Oh fuck no, you're not working. Oh hell no, I got this shit turned off. I got this shit turned off. You would have called out in these conditions. Valid. Insert the story of where me and people in high school made our own snow day because our school district didn't cancel school that day. Because even though the weather was extremely bad and on the news they were saying like, hey, don't go outside if you don't have to because the weather is so dangerous. And our school was like, okay, come to school please, you have school to do. And we were all like on Facebook like, no, don't go to school today, it's fucking dangerous. And I did not go to school that day, fun fact. I did not go. I think my parents were like chill with it. I do wonder like what happened at the school that day. Like were they like, where the hell is everybody? I don't remember like the next day like anything like happening or like the teachers being like, hey, where were you guys yesterday? I don't recall anything in particular happening, so I guess nothing really must have came of it, I assume. Maybe they're like, huh, maybe we should have just canceled classes today. I mean, hell, I remember this one time in in college where in my English communications class, there was one day where literally me and one other person were there. And the teacher just kind of talked to us for like 5 minutes and was like, well, I guess I'm not gonna like have class today because I'm just going to do everything again tomorrow. So I guess you guys can just like leave. Which definitely is like part of the whole thing with a lot of my college classes, I feel like, where I feel like it wasn't super necessary for me to be there half the time. Unlike from what I've heard for like a lot of other people's college/university, where they're like, yep, I have to show my class like 3 hours every Monday and Tuesday or whatever at 8 a.m. But like half the time for me, it was like not the same at all, high key. I guess different schools and programs will work their own ways. But it is whack to me that there's like instances where there were probably people who showed up, like drove like 30 plus minutes to go to campus, and then just for it to be like, okay, we're gonna have a lesson, or like I'll just talk for like 5 minutes and then the rest is just a work period. Like for those people that had to drive a bunch, like I kind of felt bad because it's like, well, what if they like didn't have a class for like 5 hours or something? Like they could have just like showed up later. Definitely kind of like a wild scenario, because at least it seems like that's not really a normal thing where it's like you would show up to your class just for it to like be barely relevant or not relevant at all to be there. That was definitely a huge perk for me though, living really close to my college. Since I was out here walking there, since I lived like 2 minutes away, I could just wake up and be like, oh, is there anything relevant happening today? Nope. Okay, back to bed or whatever. Something like that usually would happen, I feel like. And unfortunately, yeah, no gray blue color. I mean, would this work? Do we use a secondary color? That kind of works. That kind of works more than like, yeah, do we use it? Are we using a secondary color? Is it a secondary color kind of day? I've had a few classes where the prof was useless at teaching and I had to basically teach yourself the whole semester, save lots of time not going to those classes. Yeah, I definitely think about stuff like, I remember like the final semester and the last time where I had to deal with the photography class. I remember in the last semester, it was just like one project for the whole time, where it was just, we had to do like this whole like calendar thing. We had to like just make a calendar based on like a theme that we picked. And your theme could either had been like something that you could like bring into the studio and take pictures, or it could be like something like outside. And I picked like just like landmarks around like my hometown where I'm at. And I pretty much just like didn't have to go to like any classes for my photography class in my final semester because it was like, well, there's like, he wasn't teaching anything. I think the only thing that you could like go there for was to be like show him your pictures, be like, hey, how are these looking? Or no, I think that was the I think our actual final project, because actually I think that was like the second last semester I had that project. I think the actual final project I had for my photography class was we had to, I think it was making like some kind of like video like promo advertisement thingy for like the, I guess, graphic design class as a whole. I remember I basically made like an anime opening. Like high key. Shouts to that. But so I think like the last like year, I basically just like didn't go to my photography class like hardly at all. I was just barely in there. So shouts to that. Also, I'm so thirsty. I am so thirsty. Sheesh. It's like, you know, at some point I am considering getting a humidifier. Anybody here use a humidifier? Out of curiosity. Because I definitely feel like, I don't know, like I like wake up and like my eyes are like super like, I don't know, just like meh. And I definitely like every now and then get like a bloody nose, and I know like I never get bloody noses normally. And I know like a dryness can be a factor for getting a bloody nose just randomly. So I was like, oh, maybe I should, maybe I'll try and get a humidifier at some point. I think Skittle is saying like if you're gonna get one, like you should get an ultrasonic one. Apparently, are the good ones to get, allegedly. I put the whole eye thing. I think like that's why. I think that's like, definitely a partial thing as to why I'm like, okay, maybe I should get a humidifier. Could be how hot your heating gets. There are definitely some days where my dad just like cranks up the heat in the house, and I'm like, y'all, it is so fucking hot in here. It is unnecessarily warm, I feel like. But the last like few like, no, the last like week and a bit, we've had the house like at a pretty comfy temperature. I guess it helps. It hasn't been super cold here recently. I don't know, even in like the winter, I definitely like am not super comfy having the house being like, you know, like blistering hot most of the time. Like, I'm like me, yeah, I want to be like warm, but like I think right now our house is set to like 22 Celsius or something, which I think is about 70 Celsius, or 70 Celsius, 70 Fahrenheit for Americans. Imagine your house being set to 70 Celsius. POV, you're living in an oven. But POV, you're the pizza. POV, you're the pizza that the garlic crust pizza place for some reason now like undercooks their pizzas constantly. And if you have to like order your pizzas from there well done for them to cook it just like regularly done. It's kind of silly. I'm like, bruh, why are you like this? But yeah, like there are times like where my dad has had it at like 24. Let me see, 24C to F, which is 75. Like in the winter, do y'all ever have your thermostat set to 75 Fahrenheit? Is that ever a thing? Because I feel like anytime I ever hear people talk about their thermostat, it's like, yeah, you know, I keep it usually on like 69. Like 69 is the classic like comfy thermostat temperature for Fahrenheit, but it usually seems to usually be 69 or like 70, which, you know, I guess that's like one plus, because, you know, I've always heard people say, because, you know, it's like, oh, which one's better, Celsius or Fahrenheit? Like, I'll definitely hear people say they think Fahrenheit is better for like the weather for people, but Celsius is more logical for cooking, because, you know, instead of it's like for Fahrenheit where it's like 32 is freezing and it's like what 212 is boiling, I think. Like for Celsius it's like 0 is freezing and 100 is boiling. It's like, okay, you know, that makes more sense. That's like pretty logical. But for people, I've heard people describe Fahrenheit in a way where it's like, you know, it's like 100. It's like like 0 to 100 Fahrenheit is like a scale where it's like, you know, 100 is like the hottest you would want to ever, or like you could ever be typically, even though, yeah, it gets hotter than 100 Fahrenheit, I know. But then like 0, it's like, oh, that's like the coldest feeling, even though it gets colder than 0 Fahrenheit. Whereas like, you know, what does 32 Celsius mean? You know, that's hot. I don't know, it's weird. I guess it all doesn't really matter that much, but I understand those thought processes people have. 75 is too hot for you, 70 to 72 for me. But I brought that up because I was thinking, you know, for like a thermostat, Fahrenheit kind of makes more sense because you can make like a fine adjustment, whereas like going from like 21 Celsius to 22, like that's like multiple ticks for Fahrenheit. Like I can't set the thermostat to like 21 and a half. I mean, at least for mine I can't. Maybe some other ones you can do that. There are times where I feel the wind through your window, so I might put it hotter. Yeah, I noticed like there's like a corner in my window down here where like it is not sealed very good at all. Like the windows in our house aren't great, but my window I noticed is a pretty bad spot on it recently. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, like setting the thermostat to like 24 though, I'm like, I would never put it that high. So I'm like, just because it's cold AF outside doesn't mean I want to be like boiling constantly when I'm inside. I think like, yeah, basically throughout like the whole year, like I would basically have have the house, like if it was up to me, like it would probably be at like 21 Celsius like the entire year probably. Like maybe some days I would put it like up or down a bit, but it would probably like hover around there constantly. Because it's just like, yeah, it's just like comfy usually to be at. Step in the shower, have fun with painting. Okay, enjoy the shower and other endeavors. I guess I'm allegedly playing Dispatch later, because because Justin was like, you should play Dispatch today. I'm like, well, I could play Dispatch today in theory. So I'm allegedly doing that after Mario Paint, apparently. Right, Justin? Hey, Justin's getting the door dashing out of the way, so he can allegedly watch me do this alleged dispatching. But you know, we kind of did last episode and left on like a cliffhanger, and then I haven't played for like a week or something. So it's like, well, shit, what's happening? What's the outcome of that? And it's also, I'm so close to the end of the game. Unless there's like secret, oops, there's actually more content after the final mission. But as far as I'm aware, I'm almost done with the game. As far as I can tell. I'm about done with it. $27 into the painting. Pace is pretty fine. Mountain, pretty chill right now, actually. It's looking pretty fine, I'd say. Also, one kind of interesting thing with this like secondary color that I used, it kind of like leaves like this interesting effect of like when I go over the secondary color with a new color, it kind of creates like a bleed almost of like the light blue pixels that it's using. I don't know, it's kind of like a neat effect that it has. Whether intentional or not, or just a byproduct of how they happen to make it work. Because I'm pretty sure like this color is just like using the light blue and the dark blue tones, but it's like overlaid in like a checkerboard fashion, so it, like just has like a different effect than what you could easily achieve. Like I guess you could technically achieve this, but like manually, but it'd be so difficult. It'd be so precise, it like would basically be impossible to recreate that manually. Like I think like in theory you could recreate it, I guess. I guess we don't really like need it down here at all. Well, that can kind of like go away. And this would be like a pale, like purple lavender tone, but I, as we all know, don't have that. So we're just gonna stick with what we got and use a gray. Well, it's like they're kind of like interact with the water down below. So are they supposed? Oh, maybe they're supposed to be like lines of trees, and that's what it's supposed to be. I see. I kind of just have to like simplify it a bunch, because that's what we're gonna do. Why is another ad break automatically? Well, I guess I've been streaming for an hour. I've been live for an hour already. That's insane to me. I forgot about that part. I was live for an hour. Man, am I just gonna use a bunch of gray for the water? It's not gonna look very pog. But let's see how it goes. I was gonna say, like, ads played not too long ago, it feels like, but I guess I've been live for an hour. So, here we are. Oh, this cabin is gonna be a tight squeeze down here in the corner. It's gonna be so tough to fit in properly. Just have to see what we can do though. Yeah. Yeah, it would be nice if I could use, if I had the purples to work with. Because just putting like this in the water, I don't think would look like too amazing for that section. Well, I guess, well, rather for this color, for these like tree lines, I don't really have the lavender. But I guess like for the sky up here, I actually am supposed to use this for some of this. Now I look at it. Yeah, once again, we're really struggling for space at the bottom here. I actually do like how the mountain and sky, I think, look really nice together. I think it was a good play to use the the secondary color for the blue portions of the mountain. I think that, I don't know, it just ended up being really effective, and it ends up looking really nice with like the orange and the magenta, which is supposed to be definitely more purpley in the original, but you know, as we all know, we gotta work with what we got around here. Just gotta work with what you have. See, a bit of that. Bit of that. I mean, the nice thing actually, if this didn't have the oval framing effect on it, is that I'd be able to have so much more space to try and fit everything in as much as I can. But that is not the case. But like I said earlier, I do enjoy the framing effect that he'll do every now and then. I think it just adds a simplistic way to make the whole composition just interesting, because he doesn't do them like super frequently. It's not like every other episode's like, okay, we're doing another fun, unique frame. Which actually, I feel like in like, as the seasons have went on, I feel like he doesn't actually do as many vertical paintings as he used to, aka canvases where it's taller than it is wide. Since usually he, you know, he just does like this sort of canvas where it's a slightly wider rectangle. But I don't know, I feel like in earlier seasons he was doing a lot more tall paintings. Which is nice for me, because whenever there's a tall painting, I have to, like, you know, do the whole painting sideways. Like, I'm low-key, like, always a little whenever I have to do a vertical painting, since I have to do the whole thing sideways. But I'm sure there will be more to come. And they usually end up turning out fine. It's just, like, a little bit more, like, awkward. And I think the viewing experience isn't as hype. It's like the layout's a little like it's a little scuffed layout that I have to deal with. But it's fine, it's fine. See, like this is gonna get, we're gonna have to like erase this tree like later, like to make it fit within the frame. But for now, it'll just kind of like pop out there. 500 kills completo. Oh my god. What's your reward for that, Ebo, would you say? Proficiency? Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. I guess I should be using like the blue color maybe for this. Yeah, you know, it's kind of like a more paled blue. Speaking of colors, have y'all, oh my god, what's it called? The new like color memorization game, dialed.gg, I think is the website name. Have any of y'all done that? Honestly, it's pretty tricky, low key. Since it's like not only is it like color recreation skills, it's also memorization skills. Because it's easy once it goes away to be like, wait, what did it look like exactly? The scoring system definitely doesn't seem to be perfect though, because I definitely like have seen some where someone does it and it's like pretty close, and then it's like, oops, a 7. And then like another time where it's like pretty much like the same amount like off, where it doesn't like, it looks like pretty close, but it's like, you know, slightly too dark, too saturated, whatever. And then it's like, all right, this is a 9.5, and it's like, oh, okay. So it definitely isn't like a flawless thing, but it's still an interesting website, I think, for what it is. Pretty neat. I don't really do it too much, but I've done it a handful of times. I guess like I don't, you know, I'm not like a huge like, I'm not a super skilled painter or anything. I mean, hell, this like hidden project that I've been working on for a long time that will never see the light of day. Me working in just like black and white. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I do have a strength of just like working with like, you know, just like inking digitally. I haven't done traditional inking in a long ass time. But I don't know, there's like vibes to it. Just got a vibe. Definitely helps like when I see good manga / comic art, like that shit hits different. I think especially when it's in black and white. I think that like is a skill within itself, because it's like you can't like hide behind like, ooh, look at how colorful it is. It's like it just has to be like a solid drawing for it to really stand out on its own, I think. Obviously, color very much can aid a piece. But it definitely lives rent-free in my head of one of my college professors telling us how, like, if you have a bad drawing and then you color it, it's just colorfully bad now. And I've definitely mentioned that, like, quote multiple times during these Mario Paint episodes, and it's like, some might see that as a bit harsh. But I'm like, you know, he has a point. He definitely like has a good point with what he's saying. The whole underlying point of that to be make sure your drawing's good and not just rely on just slapping on a bunch of color to hide like a fundamental flaw your piece might have, or a skill that you might be lacking. I guess if you're aiming to like truly try and improve your skills. So I get where he's coming from with that one. Okay, I was kind of looking. This one's actually, it's looking pretty good, honestly. I'm enjoying the vibe on this one. This piece happens to have colors that work pretty good. My mountain's a bit to the left though, I'm just noticing. That's like the only tragedy. It's like some of it's gonna get cut off a bit. Or we just make the tree like go to the left a bit more maybe. As a possibility. Damn, just frick it, make it go off the top of the page. Why not? We'll have this tree be a bit angular. Why not? Do I use this, maybe? Maybe just stick with the regular color, just make it consistent with the other tree, actually. And it'll make it pop out from the mountain. So I think if I use that tone, it'll make it blend in a bit with the mountain, and that's like not ideal. I mean, hell, that's already a hard thing sometimes in these paintings, to make objects stand out from background objects. Like that can be kind of tricky sometimes, depending on what colors are being used. And I think that's definitely a case of needing to be more aware of the values being used, since sometimes for these Mario paintings, the actual color itself is not very easy to reproduce. So it's better to, in that case, in my opinion, just get the value. That being the how light or dark the color is. So AKA for like these clouds, how like it's not really black per se, but it's definitely darker. Like it's an in-between of like my dark gray and black, but so I just put on some black anyways and then like faded it out with the airbrush to give it a little bit of that gradient. Try and blend it a bit if you may. The values, I guess for anybody, anyone ever curious about any art advice? Having just good values is like key for a drawing. A painting as a whole in general. Having your values being right does wonders. Obviously, a hard thing to fully commit to for Mario Paint, since, you know, we're limited to what we have to work with, but concept is still there. And it's been a little bit since I like worked with, since I've done like a regular illustration, like digital illustration that was like full color and such. Soon TM I'll get back to doing more of those, but I've just been working on my secret thing for a while. But like I'm glad like at some point in time I learned the technique of creating like a layer over top of everything and just fill it with black and set it to, at least I set it to color mode. I think some people say set it to brightness layer mode, but I think like color, at least in Clip Studio, color mode, color layer mode definitely like works good too. And it just lets you see like the values of your drawing, which I think is very important to be able to see. think it's a very helpful tool that isn't something obvious that you would ever know to do on your own accord. Hello, Yoshi. I'm doing pretty good today. How about yourself? I'd say I'm chilling. My computer is telling me it's windy outside, and I'm glad to not be outside in the wind, because goddamn if the cold wind, it doesn't suck. And that's what it's like always like around here. The winter here, most of the time, would be so much better if it wasn't super windy. I always think about back in the day when I would be walking to opening shifts at McDonald's, where I'd be walking there at like 5 a.m., like 5:36, whatever. And I always remember like those walks, even in the winter, not being that bad, just because in the early mornings of that hour, it usually wasn't very windy. It'd be like very calm, and it was like just a pretty chill walk usually. Was it chill because you were cold? Yesterday you lost the challenge, had to eat a Carolina Reaper jelly bean and also have to change your profile picture to something. So you know, a pretty good day, right? How did the Carolina Reaper jelly bean go? I've never had something of that level of spice. Like when we got burritos a few months back, one time, they started having ghost pepper hot sauce. And I think I got like a couple, like the medium option was like 3 dots of the sauce. And it like I could feel it, but it wasn't too overwhelming. Thankfully. I think whenever we go, it's been a while since we've been there, but I guess whenever we go there again, I would get more of that ghost pepper hot sauce. It's freaking hot. It sounds like it. The Carolina Reapers allegedly super hot. Where's Ebo at to weigh his opinion on Carolina Reapers? I know Ebo's all about that hot stuff. Ebo, what? Anyway, the man's actually here. Thoughts on Carolina Reapers, Ebo? How do they make you feel? What'd you say? Terrible? Terrible. Throw them away? Are they too spicy for you, or do you think they taste bad? Oh, connecting to chat, but chat messages are still loading. Twitch just giving me errors for fun, I guess, these days. I mean, again, it was a jelly bean, so it probably isn't as bad as the real thing, but it was still hot. Yeah, I also assume it probably isn't as spicy as like the actual pepper would be, but if it's trying to be a Carolina Reaper jelly bean, I also assume it's still damn spicy at the same time. Too spicy, I draw the line. Damn, this guy has a line, but valid. Like anything like that level of spice, or like, you know, those challenges where people go in and it's like, I'm gonna try and eat these, like, yeah, I have to eat 2 pounds of these insanely spicy wings. Like, where it's like, okay, you gotta sign the waiver first. Like, I would never wanna have anything so spicy, you have to sign a waiver. Like at that point, it's like, okay, like what are we doing here? Like what's happening exactly? When's Hot Ones? I wonder how spicy those wings actually get. I've never watched an episode of Hot Ones. But like surely they don't get that spicy, right? Like I'm probably in like the top 10%, top 20% of white people's spice tolerance. Like unironically speaking, I'm probably up there. Just because like your average white person cannot handle any spice. Like I feel like Skill and I, we usually cook things with like a decent amount of spice to it, and like I have like my dad has like tried some stuff before, and he's like, oh, it's way too spicy, and I'm like, I don't notice like any spice on this at all, basically. Low key. Anna spicy? Does Anna like spicy things? I don't know if she does. Justin, you're getting hungry? How hungry are we, Ebo? I think Anna spicy, like she said, oh, spicy mayo's too hot, right? I mean, she is white. She is white. Did she say that? I don't remember, actually. Justin. Get your wife in here, or get yourself in here and answer the question that isn't directed at you. Huh? Damn, all these people, we asked them, and they're just like, huh? Huh? Justin, how's Anna's spice tolerance? Is she... I don't know. What I do? You're a Twitch partner. That's what you did, Justin. Congratulations, by the way, on doing that. Really proud of you. I know you were really grinding T2ID for a long time to get that. When's the celebration stream? What spice tolerance? Oh, she doesn't have one. Okay. Case is closed, guys. We figured it out. Good job, team. And my cabin's so petite. It is so tiny. This is a Smurf household. I remember the Smurfs. Tomorrow? Damn, when's like, maybe the next time you stream, I guess allegedly you're streaming like every Friday now, while you're still on your kind of like not streaming much schedule currently. What if your title is just like, I got partner, guys, like make your title long enough so like in the preview it doesn't show like the ending where it's like in parentheses, I got partner, parentheses, 4 years ago or however long it's been. Well, actually, well, 4 years and like, I don't know when you got, I don't know what month it was. I want to guess like November is when you got partnered. That's the month. I don't actually have no idea what month it was. June? Frick, I was close by it being a month. You feel your spice tolerance is jalapeno? I mean, honestly, like a raw like jalapeno can be decently spicy still. Even though like people are probably like, oh, it's jalapenos, that's nothing. Like they can still be pretty decently spicy sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. They do both have E in it. That's actually true. It's like the Ebo. Oh my god, they're both Ebo months. Holy frick. I've cracked the code, guys. Okay. Is this the part where we start defining the frame a bit more? Because the frame is right now a little messy because it has like this blue tone to it. Usually the frame is just white, but for this one, the canvas underneath was like a blue tone. So this time we're gonna have to go back in with the eraser. How come there are no months that start in Ebo? Alexa, are there any months in other languages that start with Ebo? Oh, have we ever heard this sound on the Mario Paint stream? Also, I think this is too big. Bruh. Okay, guess we have to do this. Do that. It's true, I got partners specifically for your birthdays, how'd you know? Justin gave partners a birthday present for me and Figs, and their birthdays are in June. You know, that's actually true. That's actually true. I remember Justin saying that. Like, I think he still has the command. If you go into Justin's stream and type !partner, it like talks about how he's like, yeah, don't tell them, but Fig and Yoshi's birthdays are coming up soon, and I want to surprise them by getting partner. Do I still have my partner command? Does that still exist, or I delete it? Oh, it's a caps lock. Eh. Hey, I still have it. Yeah. That's still a true command, actually. That's very true. Kind of fucked up that he gets skipped in all these runs these days, though. Kind of fucked up, honestly. That's the real reason why I'll never run that game again. Because they skipped the best partner. Yo, Cabbage. Pretty. This is a pretty one. I like it. This is a nice painting. Thank you, Bob, for giving us a good composition. How are you, Cabbage? Are you winning? I'm not gonna worry too much about trying to get it like blended like how his is, because it's gonna be way too difficult to try and do that with the airbrush, because I can't really set up like a stencil or anything like that. So I'll just, you know, we'll just let it be how it is. We'll just let it do what it does. Send tweet. My oval's a little fucked up though at the bottom here. It's a little messy. I mean, like, maybe I can like try and do like a bit of like this actually. Do this. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Says he's not gonna worry about it, immediately tries to fix it. Classic me moments in any art-related thing. And then we're gonna do this. We're gonna kill half that tree that I just put in. Now this is the part where you might be typing in ruined. And if you are, just you wait and see. There we go. Kind of popping out the edges there. Yeah. Well, and just like that, a few minutes over the 1 hour mark today. But I spent the last few minutes just like kind of touching up this oval a bit for the frame to make it look a bit more defined than what it was. But I think that's a pretty good painting. Overall, looks pretty nice to me. So we're gonna call that a finished painting. So I will see you in the next one. Peace.